How I knew I was actually gay. Hi Reddit. Never thought I'd be writing this, but I need to get it off my chest, and this feels like the safest place to share. This is going to be long, so thanks in advance if you stick with me through it. I'm Ryan, 30 million, and for most of my life, I thought I was straight. I dated women throughout high school and college, had a few serious relationships, and never really questioned my sexuality. Looking back now, there were so many signs that I completely missed or deliberately ignored. The early years growing up in a small Midwestern town, being gay wasn't really an option that was presented to me. My parents weren't openly homophobic, but there was always this unspoken expectation that I'd grow up, marry a nice girl, and have kids. That was just the trajectory everyone followed. I remember in 6th grade, I had this intense friendship with my classmate Ethan. We were inseparable. I would get this weird nervous feeling in my stomach whenever he'd text me, and I'd spend hours thinking about what we'd do the next time we hung out. I convinced myself this was normal for best friends. In high school, I dated girls because that's what guys did. My first girlfriend was Amber. She was pretty, smart, and everyone said we made a cute couple, but kissing her always felt like I was performing a task rather than feeling a spark. I chalked it up to being nervous or inexperienced. College confusion college was when things got more confusing. I had a serious girlfriend, Melissa, for almost 3 years. She was incredible, funny, beautiful, supportive. Everyone, including me, thought we'd end up married, but something always felt off. Our physical relationship was functional. That's the best way I can describe it. I could do it, but it never felt natural or passionate. The real eye-opener happened during junior year. My roommate Tom had a friend visiting from another college. His name was Jake. The moment I saw him, something just clicked. I couldn't stop looking at him. His smile, his laugh, the way he moved his hands when he talked. I noticed everything. We stayed up talking until 5 a.m. while everyone else had gone to sleep, and I felt more alive and connected than I ever had with Melissa. After that weekend, I couldn't stop thinking about him. I found myself making excuses to ask Tom about him, even following Jake on social media and analyzing his every post. I still didn't register what was happening. I told myself I just wanted to be friends with this cool guy. The relationship that should have worked after college. I met Emma. On paper, she was perfect, beautiful, successful. We had the same interests, the same sense of humor. My parents loved her. My friends thought she was great. We dated for 2 years, even talked about marriage. But I always felt like I was playing a role, the boyfriend. It never felt authentic. Our intimate life became a source of tension. I just wasn't that interested, and she could tell. I convinced myself I had low testosterone or was just stressed from work. We eventually broke up, and she said something that haunted me. It's like you're not really here when you're with me, like you're watching yourself go through the motions. She was right, I was. The moment of truth. About a year ago, I moved to Chicago for work. For the first time, I was in a diverse city with a visible LGBTQ plus community. I made friends with a gay couple in my apartment building, Mark and David. They invited me to dinner parties, introduced me to their friends, and never once pressured me or questioned my sexuality. One night, we went to a bar that happened to be a gay bar, though they hadn't explicitly told me that. I remember feeling immediately comfortable in a way I couldn't explain. A guy named Alex started chatting with me, and 4 hours flew by like minutes. The conversation was effortless. When he touched my arm while laughing at something I said, I felt a jolt of electricity that I had never felt with any woman I dated. He asked for my number at the end of the night, and I gave it to him without hesitation. Walking home, it finally hit me like a ton of bricks. The reason none of my relationships with women ever felt right was because I was gay. I had always been gay. I sat on a bench in the park at 2 a.m. and just started crying. Not sad tears, but relief. It was like I'd been wearing shoes that were 2 sizes too small my entire life, and I finally took them off, coming out to myself. The next few months were a roller coaster of self-discovery. I went on a few dates with Alex, and everything that had felt forced or mechanical with women felt natural and right with him. The first time we kissed, it was like, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like. I started therapy to process 30 years of suppressing my true self. I realized I had internalized so much from my hometown, my family's expectations, and society in general. I had been so determined to be normal that I'd ignored what was actually normal for me. Looking back, all the signs were there. My admiration for certain male celebrities that went beyond wanting to be like them. How I was always more interested in my girlfriends as people friends than as romantic partners. The intense friendships with guys that made me feel excited and nervous. How I'd feel a weird jealousy when my male friends got girlfriends. The fact that I'd always felt like I was performing rather than just being when in relationships. Telling others I came out to Mark and David first, who were supportive but also kind of like, yeah, we had a feeling. Then my closest friends from college, who were amazing. One even said, I always wondered if you might be gay, but I figured you'd figure it out when you were ready. Coming out to my parents was harder. My mom cried, not because she was disappointed, but because she hated that I had struggled alone for so long. My dad was quiet at first, but then just hugged me and said he loved me. They're still adjusting, asking questions, learning, but they're trying. Some extended family members haven't been as accepting, and I've lost touch with a few old friends who weren't comfortable with the new me, even though this is actually the real me. Where I am now, I've been officially out for about 7 months. Alex and I dated for a while, but eventually realized we work better as friends. I'm single currently, but dating and experiencing for the first time what it feels like to be authentically attracted to the people I'm with. The most surprising thing has been reconnecting with my past. I've reached out to a few ex-girlfriends to apologize, not for being gay, but for not being honest with myself, and therefore with them. Most have been incredibly understanding. Melissa even said she had suspected but didn't want to push me. I still have moments of grief for the years I lost trying to be someone I'm not, but mostly I feel freedom. I'm finally living as my authentic self, and even on bad days, that feels better than any good day I had before. For anyone reading this who might be questioning or struggling, it's never too late to be who you really are. The relief of authenticity is worth every difficult conversation and awkward moment. Thanks for reading my story. I never thought at 30 I'd be discovering such a fundamental truth about myself, but life is strange that way. TLDR, spent 30 years trying to be straight, dating women, and feeling like I was just going through the motions. Moved to a new city, met new people, and finally accepted that I'm gay. Now navigating life as my authentic self and realizing all the signs were there all along. Edit. Wow, I didn't expect this post to get so much attention. Thank you all for the supportive comments and messages. To answer some common questions, yes, I've apologized to my exes for not being honest with myself or them. Most have been understanding. No, I don't regret my past relationships. Each one taught me something and was part of my journey. My parents are adjusting well, though they do sometimes say unintentionally insensitive things. They're learning. For those asking if I was living a lie, I don't see it that way. I was doing the best I could with the self-awareness I had at the time. And to all the people sharing similar stories in the comments, thank you. It helps to know I'm not alone in this late bloomer experience.